I'm Maria's best friend, and I guess you can call me the maid of honor for today, so we'll just go with it. Maria and I have been friends for over 20 years, and I'm really excited, but also really nervous right now, so if anyone can tell. Either way, welcome. I'm so glad that everyone came here today, so I'm excited to be here. First, just wanted to thank Joe and Joanne for hosting us here today. I know it's been quite the past couple days, so we really appreciate it, and I know it's not the first time we've crashed your house, and it's not going to be the last, so thanks for bearing with us for sure.
Always welcome.
And then a quick thank you to Carol as well for helping with all the intricate details and answering all of Maria's phone calls so I didn't have to. Huge plus. And then a huge shout out to Eddie's parents. I know Joe already kind of covered it, but Dina and Lena Troca, they made such a long trip over here, and it's a really huge thing for us to have them here today. So welcome, and thank you again. And then just to feel like I'm at the Oscars and thanking everyone, just to thank everybody else here today. I know it's not the day that we hope for weather-wise, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get this party started for sure. So I'll start with just a quick story. So a little over 6 months ago, when me and Maria kind of were chatting through the details of this day, from the wedding itself, the party, the guest list, the details, everything else that you would possibly need for a wedding, and I asked her, I said, "Do you want me to make a speech?" And she said, "No, absolutely not. Like, we're just gonna celebrate today. Like, I don't want anyone speaking." So I'm like, okay, great, I can't wait, like, thank God. 2 weeks ago, I get a text from Maria and it says, "Did you start writing your speech yet?" Yep. So sorry for the last minute detail, but here we are. So I definitely started to panic a little bit, but we made it here today, so here we go. The first thing I had to do was figure out how I was going to write a speech. I'd never done this before, I've spoken before, obviously, but never Maid of Honor speech was a new one for me, for sure. So I had to take a page out of Joe Evangelist's book, and I said, "Okay, Google, tell me how to write a Maid of Honor speech." So I scrolled through a few articles, and every single one of them starts the same way. Step 1, it says, start writing 3 months in advance. Strike 1. So it's no big deal. I was like, I got 2 weeks. It's okay. That's plenty of time. I'll be fine. I moved to step 2, and it said, be funny. And I'm not the funny friend, So, that was a little bit more of a panic. So I said, okay, it's fine. Step 3. In huge, blocked, bolded, underlined, repeated 6 times, it said, do not drink. And I was just like, did they mean the whole time, or like before, or while I was writing it, or I wanted some more clarification, but I didn't get it, so I just popped open a bottle of wine and went with it. So, a few days ago, I checked my email, and I felt really good about my speech so far. I was like, okay, I made it, we're fine, I cried, I laughed. It's going to be great. And I open an email from Maria, and it's the run of show, and it says like the order of everything today, and I look at it and it's like, okay, this looks great so far, and then I see that there's speech from father of the bride followed by speech from me. I was like, great, I get to go after Joe. Awesome. So naturally I clicked edit, I switched the order, and I thought it was going to be fine, and somehow it didn't save. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Anyways, so let's talk a little bit more about the bride, the reason that we're all here, Maria and Eddie. So Mary and I obviously go way back to elementary school. We have countless memories. We went to Whalen Park, Hampton Beach, Shrine Ave, you name it. Probably the most memorable Shrine Ave experience is in the upstairs attic bedroom, which was covered with NSYNC and 98 Degrees and Pink posters, and we blasted music, we wrote in our diaries, and we dreamed about this very day right here. So it feels like full circle, but there was also that time where Tony took off our doorknob and stole our dolls and locked us in the attic for the entire day. But hey, it's not like I hold a grudge, so we're good.
No grudges.
No grudges. Moving on. So, as many of you know, Maria's the life of the party. She's the alpha of our crew, the loudmouth, the funny one, and we couldn't love her more for it. She's also the adventurer, so we weren't really too surprised when she told us she was moving to Greece for the summer. So at a top-notch 5-star resort on the Ionian Sea called Pink Palace, Maria met a boy named Eddie. She admired from afar. She was silently crushing on the handsome Albanian server. But let's be real, it was not from afar, and Maria is never silent. So we heard story after story about this guy, and I guarantee he knew it the entire time. So fast forward again, 2 summers later, Maria returns to Greece, and that's really where this love story takes off. Honestly, if you searched the word Eddie in our group chat that summer, my phone would have imploded. But the summer soon came to an end, and it wasn't until Maria returned home that I realized how in love she really was. It was as if a piece of her was missing, a piece she left overseas, and then I knew this story was really going to get interesting. So fast forward a few more months, throw in a few impulsive trips to Albania, just like that one that we booked on a whim at Quinn's at 1 a.m. And then Eddie touches down in America. I was so anxious to meet the man who stole my best friend's heart. We gave Eddie approximately 2 days to settle into his new life here before we decided it was time for him to meet me and Ray. But, there was nothing to worry about. We're super, super quiet. We're not even a little bit overwhelming, and we talk really super clear and slow, and it was going to be fun. So, it was fine, but, 3 bottles of champagne later, Eddie was a part of the team. My favorite attribute? Eddie likes to make fun of Maria just as much as I do. So, we bonded over that pretty quickly. But, seeing 2 people so in love and dedicated to one another, after persevering through thousands of miles, time zones, and months apart, I've learned that love truly knows no bounds. It's a blessing to follow your relationship this far, and I'm grateful to have been a part of it every step of the way. Well, the only thing I'm not grateful for is our weekly grocery trip store. It's miserable. These 2, they go down every single aisle. We're there for 2 full hours. It is absolutely miserable. So we can stop that whenever, but
no worry, one day.
Eddie, we're not an easy family or an easy group to join after nearly 20 plus years of memories, and you've been so patient with all of us, and you make my best friend so incredibly happy. So I'm really excited for our many adventures to come, especially since you moved in just a mile away. You can't get rid of me too soon. And Maria, thank you for always being someone that I can count on, someone who stands up for me, and someone who knows way too much about me to ever not be my friend. In all seriousness, I don't know what I'd do without you, and I can't wait to be there for your journey every step of the way. Oh. Very nice. It's not done yet. So I had to continue to follow my trusty article's advice, and it says to warn the crowd that you're winding down and to wrap up with a love quote. So since I'm not very creative and I don't really think about love quotes too often, I had to go back to my trusty source, and I said, okay, Google, tell me the best love quote to use in a maid of honor speech. And the number 1 answer was really weird, so I skipped that. But I did number 2, and it says, there's only one happiness in life, to love and to be loved. So with that, cheers and gazuar to Maria and Eddie. Yay!